back to the Gal for Kids, the Hamilton County Guardian Ad Litem program. I'm here with Addie Wood, my colleague, and I'm Dana Larbus. We are two of the attorneys for the Hamilton County Guardian Ad Litem program, and today is going to be unique for our watchers. Addie and I are kind of ad-libbing or freestyling it today, so we're not sure of how this will go. We hope you enjoy it. The main focus of this will be on our experiences as Guardian Ad Litems and as the attorneys for the Guardian Ad Litems, and hopefully you will find the information we provide today intriguing, and in return decide to be one of our volunteers and attend an upcoming training. But before we get into that, we'd like to thank our sponsors of the program. First, Mr. Jim Wofford, I hope I said that name correctly, and Logan Street Signs and Banners, and Noblesville Trophies. And we have a new sponsor today. Her name is Wendy Clare, and she's an attorney at law and works as a Guardian Ad Litem with our program, and also concentrates on a variety of areas, including parenting coordination. She does mediation and a variety of areas with family law and supervised visitation. Did I catch everything on that, Addie?
I think you did.
Okay.
I think you did.
Well, to start off with, I'm going to maybe interview Addie in a way and ask her how she's enjoyed her experience as a Guardian Ad Litem attorney. And first, Addie, when did you join our program?
I joined our program as a Guardian Ad Litem in March of last year, and then came on board as one of the attorneys in May of last year. So I'm still fairly new to the process and program, but have really enjoyed being involved.
So Addie, what did you do prior to being Guardian Ad Litem?
Prior to, I actually had another life as an insurance agent and went to law school 5-6 years ago, I guess, and decided that advocacy work is where my heart was, and helping children. And so during law school, I was a volunteer Guardian Ad Litem and met Shelley after I graduated and decided this is truly my calling, and we are able to make such a difference in children's lives. And I think it's one of the most important things that we can do in the community to help our children, in which we actually are making a difference.
Well, to kind of enlighten our viewers a little bit, because Addie shared a lot of information there. First, Shelley, that she refers to as Shelley Hiles Haymaker, and we are very blessed to have her as our program director. Shelley has been with this program more years than I can count, but I know at least over 15 years of her time has been dedicated to this program. It may be far more than that. And she is who we're filling in for today, and if you grace us with your presence at one of our trainings, you would have the opportunity to meet her, and we can both attest that she has been an inspiration for us, and one of the reasons we chose to be Guardian Ad Litems. And again, I'm throwing the word Guardian Ad Litem and Guardian Ad Litem attorney out there for those who may not know. A Guardian Ad Litem is a special appointed person, someone just like you watching, who is appointed by the court to go out and be an investigator and a voice for the children in our community that may come into the court system. Often those children will come into the court system through something like a Hamilton County Department of Child Services matter. They may come into the system because a family member is separating from a spouse. There could be some kind of custody discussion with someone who's a guardian or a parent for a child. So there are a lot of different avenues. Real quick snippet there. You become, as a Guardian Ad Litem, an advocate for the children. As far as the term of a Guardian Ad Litem of attorney, and that's what Addie and I primarily do these days, we are a voice for the Guardian Ad Litem in a court situation or with some kind of court dealing. Meaning that we are literally your attorney and step in and protect you, the Guardian Ad Litem volunteer, as you complete your tasks in a variety of areas. With us being attorneys, like I said, that's our primary role, but as Addie said, we also do the volunteer end of the work. We are out in the field, working with the children, visiting them at their school, talking to their teachers, going to through medical records, meeting maybe caseworkers or other parents and grandparents in the community to complete that investigation the court asked us to do, and then convey the information to the court and any of the players that come into play with the child's life as they're in the judicial system. So Addie, you said you were attracted to doing guardian ad litem work through your experience with Shelley and your law school experience. How have you found Hamilton County doing the actual guardian ad litem work? How have you found that?
I love working in Hamilton County and being here. We're kind of a small family, if you will. Our program, we work with DCS and some of the local attorneys who act as our public defenders, and so we get to work fairly closely with them. Everyone has their best interest of the children at heart. We all just have different roles, and we all respect one another. But ultimately, it's always about what's in the best interest of the child, especially coming from our point of view and our perspective. And a lot of times we're able to help bring everybody to the same table to accomplish that goal.
So you're mentioning all these players. When you came on board, did you participate in training of any kind before you actually met the players of the team?
Yes, actually, training is coming up here soon. The end of April, we're looking for volunteers just like you to come in and help us, and you can learn how to be a guardian ad litem, and you will meet the players, which are DCS. You'll go to the juvenile detention center, meet with probation and prosecutor. You'll meet with a judge, Magistrate Reitz, who is the one who oversees pretty much all of our cases that we handle through the program on the CHIN side, which is a child in need of services. And that's where Dana and I work as the attorneys. So absolutely, we and Shelley has put together an amazing training program. So you're not just thrown into the process, that you're trained over, I think it's 30 hours.
And just because we're running a little short on time at this point, the training you're talking about, in fact, is starting April 27th, correct?
Yes.
And is it too late to sign up for that at this point? Absolutely
not. I think all you need to do is you could send an email to Shelley at ATTY Shell SHELL at att.net, and let her know that you're interested, and we can get you signed up for the program, the training, and even just come and check it out and see what you think. That would be fantastic, as we are in dire need of new volunteers.
And since we're looking like we're going to be taking a break here, just a reminder, we will go in further to the detail of the training after the break.
When Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage: Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
The break that we just had. Once again, this is the Gal for Kids Hamilton County Guardian ad litem program. And this is Addie Wood to my right, and I am Dana Larbus. We are two of the attorneys with the Hamilton County Guardian ad Litem program. And when we left off, Addie and I were talking about the upcoming volunteer training we're having. It starts this April 27th and runs through, let me check my list, May 11th. The dates and the times have been graciously put up on the screen for you. But if you think you're interested and you forgot to write that down, by all means, please contact the program director, Shelley Hiles Haymaker, and her email, atttyshel@att.net. So that's Shelley Hiles Haymaker @.net email. So feel free to contact her, and it's not too late to join our program. And I think at this point, Addie is going to go in a little further detail as to what to expect if you are interested, and we certainly hope you are, in helping the children through this program and attending our upcoming training. Addie, would you add something?
Yes. So the training, like we mentioned before, it's extensive, and it's extensive for a reason, because this is extremely important work, and we want our volunteers to feel equipped to go out and take a case and know what to do. So there are a number of hours that are in class, in the classroom in essence, going through chapters on diversity and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. We talk about report writing, because you do have to write a report at the end of your investigation that we submit to the court.
Right.
So we go over that. We take field trips to the courthouse, and we
juvenile too.
The
juvenile
yes.
shelter and
That's right.
detention center.
Yeah,
Field
so
trips are great.
They are.
Best part.
Yeah. So you can see what's there and what's going on, and then we will have people come in from DCS, which is the Department of Child Services, and explain their role and how the Guardian ad litem helps them as well. And it's most important if all of us, especially the Guardian ad litem and the DCS family case manager, work together, because a lot of times we all have separate or we have different information, and so it's best if we can all stay on the same team.
Okay, and in addition to the field trips, as I said, we do in-classroom work. Folks from DCS come in. Addie will speak with you and share some of the background information you will need to perform as an advocate. I will speak to you. Shelley is there multiple nights, so the director herself is hands-on with this, which is wonderful, trust me. We both have found that beneficial. And then we like to wrap up the training after you've had all this information come to you. By the way, there's really not a test, in case you're wondering. You just have to be at the training, and the test is when you're in the field. But we wrap it up with a round table. And personally, I have found that the most interesting aspect to close the training sessions, because you get to talk to seasoned volunteers who have done this. And they're brutally honest, and that's what you want to know when you do this training. What to expect and what's it like once I get out of here. Because although Addie and I are there, and Shelley's there, and we also have a phenomenal administrative assistant, Robin, you're still going to have to do some of this on your own. So it's nice to talk to someone who's been there that first time, and share the ups and the downs, and let you know it's really not that scary, and at the end result you've done something wonderful for a child. And to see and hear what they have to say about it, I think will be the clincher for you with the program. Wouldn't you say that's fair?
Absolutely. And you get to ask questions and things that we sometimes don't think about or haven't had that experience. And as a volunteer, sometimes their experiences are different. So I absolutely find that that's one of the best and most helpful parts of the whole training.
And you do that even once you're done with the initial training. There are some other steps that you'll go through. You'll have to go through a criminal background check. You'll have to interview some more with Shelley. There are a variety of little dot the I, cross the T steps that have to be completed before you get your first case. But once you get your first case, then you have the attorneys to turn to. You have this wonderful team that Addie talked about that all are working to address the issues of the children involved in the court case. even though we come from a different angle. So you never stop learning when you do this job. And to add to it, we have monthly training so you can continue to meet with your colleagues, other people doing the same thing, sharing and brainstorming together and getting more information. And day to day as you do this job, I mean, we may not do the actual hands-on gardening and lighting work as often as we would like because we are in court representing you guys, but I can't think of a day I've gone by where I haven't learned something new. Because you're dealing with real people, and real people are interesting, and they have their struggles. But as a team, and part of that as a guardian ad litem, you also get to see the growth and the positive outcomes of everyone's efforts and how that comes into play. And for me, I think that's been the most rewarding part of being a guardian ad litem, is the constant learning and the constant working with people we live with day to day and seeing positive progress across the board. How the people perform, from the professionals to the lives of the children we touch. And I hope if that doesn't bring you in, I don't know what else will. I would say the only people that probably wouldn't be too interested in the program are those who don't like to work with kids. But if that's the case, then there's always the Humane Society, right? And you can work there and volunteer.
Right, absolutely.
So Addie, what do you think now? You said you've been doing this for a year. I've been doing it for roughly 6 in this capacity and as a volunteer beforehand. What do you think was the most surprising thing you've come across now that you're doing it full time?
How I was always worried with the DCS cases that it was just going to be so heartbreaking with the children being abused and neglected, and really what we see a lot of is drugs. I know a lot of people don't think that we have drugs here in Hamilton County, but we do have a drug problem. And that's typically what our cases are. I've been fortunate enough to only have 1 or 2 that have just been extremely difficult to deal with. But we are making a difference in the lives of these children, and that's what I love about it, is if you truly want to affect a child's life in a negative or in a positive way, this is the way to do it, because you are. And you are bringing their voice to the court. And maybe when we come back, we can explain a little difference between a family case manager with DCS, their role, and ours as the guardian ad litem, because you think it's the same goal, but a lot of times, sometimes it's not, and our opinions are different. So maybe we can start off by that in our next segment.
And I think that's a great idea, and we can also go a little further into what the difference is in the role as a guardian ad litem in the shoes we're asking you to fill, that we fill sometimes, and then how it is that our role as your attorney comes into play. Okay, so we look forward to seeing you at the next segment.
When Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage: Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Welcome back to the third segment of the Gal for Kids show. I would like to thank Jim Wofford Logan Street Signs and Banners, Noblesville Trophies, and Wendy Claire for so graciously sponsoring our show so we can bring this information to you, and you can learn more about our program and hopefully be involved or get involved. And if it's not something that you want to do, maybe you know someone who thinks that might be a good idea or they would like. And again, they can contact Shelly Haymaker, who is the director of our program, who I will give a shout out to. We do miss her. She's at training for our Guardian Learning, exactly. For directors, I think, of Guardian Ad Litem programs. And we, in Hamilton County, are so very, very lucky to have such an amazing person running our program and a huge advocate for children. So, and her email address is atty Shell, SHELL, @att.net. So if anything you've heard or going to hear interests you, send her an email, and we'll talk about our training that's upcoming here, and we would love to have you come in and get involved. So
don't forget that training's coming again April 27th. It starts. And the one thing we didn't mention, and it is on the schedule that was posted a couple times during this program, and that's up there again. It is a large chunk of time, 5:30 to 9 p.m. We like to have everyone attend each session because they build on each other and are pertinent to you understanding and becoming an effective volunteer. However, we do realize sometimes people might have to come a few minutes late because of traffic or there's a family emergency. If you stay in touch with us, we gladly have you come to the training, even if you know there's going to be some hiccups. So please don't decide not to come because you go, hey, I know with traffic some nights I might not get there till 5:45. That's okay. Just let us know ahead of time. We'd still love your dedication. So Addie, I'm going to let you take over.
Awesome. So we ended the last segment talking about the difference of the roles in a guardian ad litem, or in a case, I guess. So with the guardian ad litem and a family case manager, which is with DCS, that they're two separate roles, and they're similar, but they are each have their different nuances. And so I wanted to explain, I guess, a bit the difference, as our role as the guardian ad litem is to be that child's voice in court and their advocate. Now, what I like to tell a lot of my, especially the older kids, just because it's what you want isn't necessarily what we're going to recommend. Now, you get that out to the judge. The judge will hear in what they want, but a lot of times, it's our job to make a recommendation to the court, and sometimes what the kids want
I
isn't
love that
necessarily.
point. If you don't mind my
Sure.
over talking you there. We say voice for the kid. It does, or child, kid, bad slang there. It doesn't mean we're there and just advocating for whatever a child wants. And we're not putting that added pressure on a child either. In fact, our role as a guardian ad litem is to take away some of those pressures, share with the judge a child's interests and wishes, but we make a recommendation on all of our information as to what we believe is in the best interest of the child. Doesn't mean it always correlates with what the child wants. And I think that's exactly right.
Yeah, and we, just so you understand that too, you're not just in there saying what the kid wants at all. It's, you are actually making a recommendation to the judge as to what you think is in the child's best interest. So the other player that we were mentioning is the case manager with DCS, who, again, the upcoming training, one of the nights is a training by DCS and what their process is and how we fit into the equation. And our roles are different in that we are looking at, we talk with the children, we talk with parents, we talk with schools. I mean, in essence, I kind of call you the detective and doing all the detective work.
I agree. That or a court reporter, same, yeah. Or news reporter, same
exactly,
thing.
Same, right. And so our role is to be a third party. The only person's side you are on is that child's side. And so we go in and look at all of those things, and sometimes the case managers, they either have rules that they have to follow by DCS or from DCS that are mandated, or sometimes they don't see the things, or the kids don't tell the case manager. So our role is to go in and look at the environment and make sure that's safe and the people they're living with.
Addie, would it be fair to say that we're more kids centric, whereas DCS has all those other elements, not just the kids but the parents
Absolutely.
to contend with.
Yes, absolutely. And I think, yes, that's a very good point, that our main focus is that child and what's in that child's best interest, and we don't have necessarily mandates or requirements that are given to us by the state or the government as to what those have to be and what our recommendations have to be. And that's what I love about our job, is we get to go in and advocate for the child, where sometimes the case manager can't fully advocate for the child because it hasn't been so many months, or because there's a piece of the puzzle that, to their standards doesn't fit yet, even though that's what's in the best interest of the child. So we get to go in and really advocate for we believe is in the best interest of the child. And most times, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we tend to agree with DCS.
I would say that's true, because even though we're looking at it from different angles from DCS, each of the players, there are more players than just the caseworker and us, obviously. We talked about the judge, we talked about the attorneys. We all are looking at it from a different angle, and the beauty of that, with the different viewpoints, the child still is at the center, and we're able to fit together sometimes. Other times we add a piece that's missing, and we bring in facets to maybe the caseworker from the constraints that Addie mentioned. They may have their own directives, just like we have our own. Those missing loopholes are covered up by all the players because of their perspective changes, and brings in a clear picture at the end.
Right. And that's where we come in as attorneys, is you're not out there alone. That when you have questions or you don't know, you can email us or call us. Yes, we're extremely busy and we get back to you as quickly as possible, but we're here as a sounding board, and if you get stuck and don't feel like something's happening, that's where we come in to help. So you're not just out there alone doing this, with your reports. We look at them, we file them, and court, you're not just thrown into court by yourself. Again, a lot of guardian ad litem programs don't have the benefit of the attorneys, of someone representing you in court. So you're not alone. You have a team behind you. And
I'm going to leave it there because I'm looking, we're short on time. Addie, I think the best words you used today, and I agree with you, it is a family that's involved with the court, and the people working with that family become a family in a sense, and bring their different attributes and characteristics to make the whole thing work, hopefully, for the best interest of the child. So you're not alone. As you can tell, Addie and I have never felt that way from the time we took an interest in the training we've had and the interaction with all the players, you, the volunteers, and the public, working with each other. We really love what we do, and we hope you see that passion and want to be part of our family as well. Thank you again for watching the Gal for Kids Hamilton County Guardian ad litem program. We'd like to thank our sponsors again, Jim Wofford, which I hope I said right, Logan Street Sign and Banners, Noblesville Trophies, and Wendy Clare, who have been gracious enough to help sponsor this program so we can get the word out to you. And we do it every month, so stay tuned and watch for our next program, which I hope will be just as interesting in May. Thank you.